Okay. Project 2, Austin Contreras, application of embedded systems, MATLAB, ECG, GUI. Code, that's my code. Just some instructions, very simple. Just select the patient in the list box, adjust the time slider to find your time domain that you're wanting to look at, and then you can view a specific window in that time domain. And the peaks and the heart rate will be calculated automatically in whatever window that is there. So it's fairly easy. Um, just going through the heart rate function, just making sure that there is a ECG to calculate, and then making sure that it is only calculated in a certain window with the X limits, and then defining the region that is being analyzed within that window, which is the X limits, and then need enough data to calculate. Saving data, setting. I had issues with the array, or not the array, but yeah, the array dimensions. The the derivative was being calculated as a column vector, but the ECG window and T window were being saved as row vectors or just regular vectors. So then I had to change that using the columns. And then that's just smoothing filter, approximating the derivative to find like when peaks are being changed, making amplifying the peaks so it's easier to tell what is a peak and what is not, or the derivative, I guess. And then making sure that the peaks are not just a small area to look at. It's actually something significant, which makes it easy to detect. Using find peaks to save locations, organize locations, and then searching windows, and just making sure there's a spot where there's no duplicates, which is the refined locations. And then going through the rough gases, you index from the beginning of the window to the end of the window using the 200 millisecond region, and then you save that to the refined locations, and then use that to calculate the intervals using the R peaks or the QRS peaks. And then plotting them is a whole other thing. It's easy. And then updating the patient data, which is just really putting it through filters and setting the domain sliders or the slider values. And all of that's just implemented in here within the value change functions. And then actually running it, we can just pick a patient, and it'll start with the entire data set, and then we can shorten the time domain we're looking at, which will adjust the heart rate, and then we can select a small window within this data set, which will show it can be 10 seconds, or we can change this to 20 seconds, and then pick a larger window, and then choose that smaller window. You get more data. And then the heart rate is in the title function, and then the y-axis label will change for every patient. And the GUI works. It might not be pretty with the colors, but the information is being saved correctly. How do I stop recording?